raise your hand. Kareem.
Hey, Mike. One of those nights, obviously, just, yeah, exactly. What do you take from a night like tonight? Is there anything to take from a night like tonight?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. Number one, it shows the heart that a bunch of our players have that had to go through this tonight. I think that's a good lesson for a lot of people that, you're dealt bad hands. How do you handle it? Do you cry about it? Do you mope, or do you go out and play and give it your best effort? And I thought that, we made mistakes, and clearly we were overmatched physically, in size and everything else. But I'm proud of those 6 players for what they did. And, some of those things will come back, as the season goes on, to reward us. The fact that you can fight through some of that stuff and fight through fatigue. We won't have to play people those kind of minutes every night. The other part of it, I thought, I'm kind of looking on the court and looking on our bench, and I'm thinking, as we go forward and we get people healthy, and we, hopefully after the break have some reinforcements there, that I like our chances going down the stretch of the season. You lose a game like that where you're out physical, you can't get an offensive rebound because you're small, or you're trying to get back. Clearly, they had a lot of size, and yet I'm thinking, okay, put some of our people that are missing out there, and I'll feel good about our team down the stretch of the season. Those last 14 games are going to be pretty interesting, after the break.
Just one more for me real quick. Anticipate adding someone before Saturday?
Yes, we will sign 2 players to 7-day contracts on Thursday.
On Thursday?
Yep.
I'm assuming you don't know who those are yet, or can't say.
I know who they are.
All right. Well, thank you.
Jen.
Hey, Coach. I know I asked you about plus minus the other day. So following up on that, Shavonte only -1. Just curious what you make of that.
She helped us play well, and we outscored them in the fourth quarter. I thought she made an impact on the game, particularly just with her effort plays defensively. I don't think a plus minus as a team thing in a game like this is necessarily apropos. So I don't know how to relate it to the overall game, depending on what matchups were in the game. But I thought she did a really good job of just, she had to be a point guard. She had to be a power forward tonight. That's a lot to ask. And, she had 4 assists. If I had one negative from all of us tonight, I just felt like we could have done a better job rebounding the ball, at least on the offensive end. When you miss, 39 shots or whatever it is we missed, you would seem that you could get more than one offensive board. That would be the one negative I take away from this.
And then just wanted to ask real quick, noticed that Alicia Clark doesn't have her walking boot anymore. Any updates you have on her, or how exciting is it to see that?
She's not playing this year, so I'm not giving updates on her.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach, you talked about coming in this game, managing players' playing time, managing your timeouts overall. How do you feel you did your job there?
The fact of the matter is that, most 5 of our players on the math had to play more than 30 minutes. So that's what happened. Normally I would have taken Tina out earlier, but she wanted to stay in as long as we were still kind of in the game. And then once I did that, it was kind of hard to get Leilani another break. So that's why I used those timeouts in the fourth quarter, just try to let them gasp through the end.
Any other questions for Coach?
Okay.
That's it then. Thank you.
Yep.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, Ariel, how are you?
Hey, Kareem, how's it going?
Good. Have you ever played in any kind of game on any level with just 6 players?
Maybe when I was like 5. Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, obviously such a unique scenario.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, but like nobody's gonna be like, oh my God, they only have 6 players. Let me be nice. Like nobody cares. So it is what it is. We got to figure out a way to keep it pushing and find ways to get better within the game and not lay down and die.
And that was going to be my next one. Just what do you take from this? Is there anything to take from this when, you're obviously just so much stacked against you before you guys even take the floor? Is there a whole lot to take away from this one?
I think we're a lot tougher than a lot of people probably think. But basketball is a game of highs and lows on and off the court. And in a sense, you just got to be ready for whatever adversity is being thrown at you. But I think it gives the players that's being able to play through this a sense of toughness and a different level of mentality when it comes to being able to get down and get on the court. Because we've been playing with a lot of less bodies for a little while now. And then it just kind of got a little less. So I think it's just giving us mentally showing you that you can really work through a lot of things, even though it's tough. But if we're ever in this scenario again, we'll have precedence of it and be able to probably fight through it a little bit better.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Gabe?
Hey, Ariel, I was just going to piggyback off of Kareem's question and ask if this is helping your conditioning. It's going to come up later that you're going to need a run delay in the fourth quarter and you're able to do that with 6 people a night.
Yeah. I guess that's a very, very optimistic and positive way to look at it. So I hope it is helping our conditioning.
All right. And my other question was going to be, do you ever think to start forcing up more shots? I know you like to play in the flow of the game and get your shots when they come, but you took 11 tonight. Feels like you're probably going to take it more. Do you ever think you're going to try to force it?
Yeah. I'm looking at the shot chart and I actually thought I forced some shots today. And I didn't even realize I only took 11. In any game, I have to take more than that. So I've got to do a better job of hunting my shot down.
Emily?
Hey, what's it like going out there with knowing that someone like Leilani is on the court with you?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
What's it like knowing that someone like Leilani is on the court having your back?
Oh, Lay's mad cool. I love Lay. She's a great vet and a great leader on and off the court. But my favorite thing about Lay is just she's a really awesome human. But she's somebody I respect. She's been in this game for a really long time. She understands it. She's smart. And I just appreciate her as a human overall. She's done some really great things in this league, and the way that she's able to lead with such a calm demeanor, I love it. I really do love Lay, and it's fun knowing that you have somebody that's respected in this league to have your back and believe in you and have respect for you as well.
Tyler?
Hey, Ariel, what you touched on it a little bit, but what's it like for a player's psyche when you're grinding it out, you're playing with 7 players, extended minutes, then all of a sudden you're down to 6 and you're getting even more minutes after 2 weeks of already having to kind of push your body to limits?
Yeah, you just gotta do the best you can. Nobody's asking you to go out there and drop 50. We're just doing the best we can. And on top of that, it forces you again to figure out, can you grind through stuff? Can you figure stuff out? And it won't always end up in a win, but I think it's going to help us later on down the line, to be honest with you, because we've had a lot of, I like to call it random adversity. But we've had a lot of random adversity happen over the course of a month. So I really do think, the basketball gods will turn their tides and be in our favor.
And then what are the conversations like with your teammates, either in the huddle, in the locker room, trying to battle through this?
We just got to do it. Again, nobody's going to feel sorry for us. We don't even feel sorry for us. It's it is what it is. Again, basketball, things happen, injuries happen, people leave, people come. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but there's also a lot of things that can go right. So I think we're just trying to focus on the people that are able to go and what we can do to create advantages for ourselves on the court and find ways to win.
Thank you.
Jen.
Hey, Ariel. I
Hey,
know you
Jen.
guys have that motto of winning the day, but just curious, with only 2 games left and before the Olympic break, if there's, a sense of urgency, or if you guys have looked ahead at all and thought about, priorities to get accomplished over the next 2 weeks.
Definitely not looking ahead. I feel like it would be easy for us to chalk it up and just go to the break mentally. But that's not what we do here. That's not what we're about. Not one player is like that. Not even just basketball, but personality wise, I don't think we have personality like that on our teams. We like to finish what we started. But in the sense of just trying to finish out the break, we're focused on one day at a time. We're not looking ahead. Right now, next we have New York. I'll watch probably Connecticut film tonight, see what we could have done better, see when we were just tired and just couldn't figure it out. But literally just taking it one day at a time. And like you said, our motto is win the day. So it's one day at a time. There's not much we can really be looking forward to right now in the sense, because we have to figure out what players are going to come back and everything like that. So I think it's very wise of us to focus on one day at a time.
Then just wanted to ask you, with the video that played before the game for you
yeah.
and Lay and Tina, saw you react a little bit at center court, but what
Yeah.
kind of went through your head seeing that?
I've got a really awesome circle, man. I am seriously blessed to have the people that I do in my life. And it started at home with my family, my parents and my siblings, and they really do mean the world to me. And so for some of my closest people in my inner circle to be on that video, my cousin Claire, Coach Dwayne, Coach Tina, I believe, it's just, it means a lot to me that they support me and that they believe in me, because I just want them to know that they've really poured an immense amount of prayers and love and patience into me. And so I'm just super thankful for that. And I'm really blessed to have the life that I do.
Did you know that was coming, or was it just?
I did not. It actually made me tear up a little bit when I saw my little brother on there, because he just doesn't really deal with people like that. So I'm interested to know who asked him to actually be on the video.
Thanks, Ariel.
Yep.
I think that's it. Thanks, Ariel.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Tina. Obviously, this is a game that you guys kind of knew before going into the court what was happening. But despite this being your first year with the team, you're a veteran on the court, period. What did you tell your teammates going into this game, knowing that, okay, we only have 6 players going into this? How are we going to win the day?
Just to have pride going out there, just to play the game the right way. We knew it was going to be tough, only having 6 players. People were going to get tired. So just try to play your minutes hard. That's all you can say.
Kareem.
Hey, Tina, how you doing? Quickie, have you ever been in any kind of scenario like this with just 6 players, on any level?
Probably like AAU, but not at a professional level. No.
It's kind of what I figured. I'm just curious, how odd was that to kind of be in that scenario where you literally got one person rotating it?
To be honest with you, I think just before the West Coast trip, when we were at 7 or 8 players, or Stella Johnson wasn't getting a lot of minutes, so it did feel like we only had 6 players rotating in. 1 player rotating in. So I think our mind wasn't just really on the 6. It was just how can we compete? How can we just play our minutes hard as much as we can? And Connecticut's a good team. They got their full team, potential MVP. Yeah, they played the game that they should have.
And exactly, and that's kind of the last thing I want to ask. Things are obviously stacked up against you guys today. So I'm curious, is there anything you take from today, or is it just kind of hey, this was kind of a very unique situation and we just moved past it?
I think times like this is what's going to allow us to persevere after the Olympic break. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And God willing, we get everybody healthy after the Olympic break and we could just make a run and play good basketball. The top 8 makes it to the playoffs. So we definitely have an opportunity to get in there and secure a spot.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Emily?
So you've been able to play with Leilani for some time now. What kind of improvements have you seen in her both on and off the court?
You said what? What? Sorry, you got muffled. Hello?
You've been able to play with Leilani for a while now.
Mhm.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah.
How has she improved over the past few games, both on and off the court?
Oh, how has she improved?
Yeah.
I think Leilani has always just been herself. You know, she doesn't force anything. She plays within herself, plays the game the right way. I love playing with Leilani. You know, she's very easy spoken. She's very smart. It's been an honor to be playing alongside of her and playing with a true point guard. So, you know, it's cool to have that difference between Tosh and Leilani, but Leilani is just making shots. I don't think Leilani's doing anything outside of what she's been doing the first couple of games and what you've seen on the West Coast trips. The shots are just going in. So yeah, I mean, Leilani is going to be the one on the court shooting before practice, after practice. So she definitely has confidence in herself and stays within her routine. And that's something that I definitely respect about her.
Gabe?
Tina, you got to spend time covering both Bree Jones and Jonquel Jones, and they're obviously both having amazing seasons. So I was just wondering, or kind of the differences between guarding them, and what do you think of the challenge of having to face them both in one?
I think it's great to see a young post player like Brianna Jones come into her own, you know, and trying to be as dominant as she can down low. I mean, Jonquel is who she is, how she's always been. So yeah, I mean, they're both young. They're the future of this league. So it's great to see both of them prospering and playing well within the system.
Jen?
Hey, Tina, you know, what went through your head before the game when you saw that montage video for you and Lay and Ariel?
I thought it was great. You know, my parents are not tech savvy, so I honestly did not think I was gonna see my mom and dad on there. But you know, what really warmed my heart was seeing my grandmother, seeing my uncle and my two younger cousins in Jamaica. You know, it's always great to see your family supporting from afar. I'm very thankful for technology, and I definitely have to, you know, pat my mother and my father on the back, because I don't know how they were able to do that. From what I know through experience. So that was cool.
And then just wanted to follow up with you. The other day, you know, I asked you about Shavante, and you mentioned that you'd learned some things from her in New York just because of how defensive minded she is and good on that end. I'm just curious if you know, could elaborate a little bit more on what you learned from her during your time together in New York.
Just how she has just how to be relentless, how to be always engaged on both sides of the court. You know, Z always raised everybody's level when we were in practice. Again, you know, playing alongside Tamika Catchings and being under Lynn Dunn and Steph White. If you remember anything about how they ran that organization, there was accountability. If they didn't know their assignment, it didn't matter who it was, could be Catch, like they were coming out of the game, you know? So they all played very hard, and that's something that she brought over to me, just accountability. You know, Z knows she could hold me accountable. She knows how, you know, I aspire to be one of the great players coming out of this league, and Z's just great. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. She's just great.
Thank you, Tina.
And that concludes media for tonight. Thank you, Tina.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You too.
Thanks, girl.
That wraps up our media for tonight. We are off tomorrow, so we will send out an advisory for Thursday. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.